Oh, hi everybody. If you haven't already noticed, I'm sad. The world is a desolate rock, floating aimlessly in space, and I am merely an ant-sized being, here today and gone tomorrow. Even on this insignificant rock, COVID is still in full swing, world hunger is ravaging our planet, and worst of all, K-pop is a thing. It's fair to say I'm a nihilist, depressed, and lost in this world. If only there was someone who could bring light to this darkened abyss. If only there was someone who was funny, sincere, calm, and rational, who could bring peace to the human race. Maybe via talk show? If only the world had someone like this, aka someone the complete opposite of Candace Owens. Yeah, I'm a depressed, edgy atheist for a reason, guys, and Candace Owens' new show is just the latest example as to why God is dead. Most of you are probably aware, and if you're not, I'm sorry, that for $12 a month, you can now watch Candace Owens' new late-night talk show with the Daily Wire. Wow, what a deal. You can hear Candace Owens spew the exact same nonsense she always spews, but it's worth paying for because it's in front of a live audience.
Which means that people are not listening to the mainstream media anymore, and the mainstream media knows it. It's why they want to stomp out voices like mine. It's why they want to censor voices like mine.
Yes, queen! Before this talk show began airing, Candace made it obvious from an interview that she was planning on taking a different approach with this talk show. I guess the best way to describe it would be like a late night talk show. It's going to be funny, it's going to be lighthearted. I think the most important adjective is it's going to be hopeful, she promises. I've always been a person that thinks that you can best communicate an idea through humor, adds Owens. So this is a bit of a bamboozle. Candace Owens attempting to do something funny, lighthearted, and hopeful. I don't know how you're gonna sell that to Republicans, but okay. Also, Candace Owens being funny? That's really hard to imagine. But this is a strange reoccurring theme with Candace. She claims that she's actually really funny, but it's the media's fault that you didn't know that.
It's funny because one of the things that people who work with me are always so surprised to find out is that I have a sense of humor. And that really tells you how good the media has been at creating this Candace caricature, because my sense of humor is probably the biggest piece of my personality.
You see, guys, it's the dastardly media's fault that you didn't know Candace Owens is actually a funny, happy, go-lucky girl, frolicking about the fields, picking the blossoming flowers. Never mind the fact that this clip was posted on the Candace Talk Show channel only 3 days after the clip we just saw.
None of this stuff would happen, these mistakes, if people could listen to police officers' instructions. It's not that hard, right? And right now you have Black Americans that are learning that it doesn't matter. You shouldn't have to. In fact, the best case scenario is for a police officer to do anything wrong while you're resisting arrest, because you will be transformed from a hero.
That damn media portrayal. It's weird because she even admits that when people meet her, they're surprised to learn that she's funny. But somehow, Candace, you blame the media rather than your own marketing for the fact that people don't think of you as comedian Candace Owens. I mean, your talking points could maybe sell for a parody, but that's it. Anyway, she continues, calling out late night talk show hosts for always delivering bad news. Even the late night talk shows, everybody is obsessed with bad news. And so it becomes very easy to insert yourself as someone that says, look, this is bad, but here is the silver lining. And the silver lining could have been another name for the show, because that is really what we're focused on, giving people the silver lining. Okay, so now we have a good understanding of the goal Candace has for her talk show. Her main goals are lighthearted, funny, and hopeful. Lighthearted is already kind of implied when it comes to humor, so really her main goals with the show is simply to give people hope or a silver lining and deliver humor.
I'm constantly having fun, I'm always laughing, and I'm incredibly happy. And I definitely want to inspire the same in my audiences.
Well, as we all know, I'm a sad loser. I could use some cheering up. So let's see how Candace Owens' new late night talk show checks out by her own standards. We could all use some hope in life, and maybe, just maybe, Candace is the person to deliver it. Her most recent video posted at the time of writing this video is called Why Candace is Hopeful for America. Okay, so we're off to a pretty good start. Let's go ahead and inject some hopium straight into our veins.
I do feel hopeful. If I didn't feel hopeful, I wouldn't get up in the morning. When the results poured in and they told us that President Biden was going to be inaugurated.
President Biden? If Biden is an illegitimate president, doesn't that mean our entire democratic system is corrupt? So why even vote? Why even do anything? Why even get up in the morning and try to make the country a better place? Well, so far we're on -1 for the hopeful content.
Inspire you to realize that things are not as bad as they may seem. You know, despite the fact that President Donald Trump was so abused and was referred to as a racist, slandered and libeled as a racist, a sexist, a xenophobe, a misogynist, you name it, despite being referred to as a racist more than any president in the United States, he actually increased his numbers significantly amongst the black population.
Okay, so Candace Owens' big hope is because, and let me get this straight, I want to try to get the reenactment perfect verbatim here, okay? Trump was abused, maligned, kicked to the curb by the ruthless media, polluting the minds of our children, labeling Trump a racist. I mean, the poor innocent man just didn't trust Mexicans. Despite being called a racist millions of times, Trump still managed to increase his numbers in the black community and gained a whopping 4 points, putting Trump at 12% of the black vote in 2020, despite multiple previous Republicans garnering larger amounts of the black vote. This somehow means Trump is cool and special? Hope! Well, I'm gonna be honest, that was really disappointing, but I still have hope because when God closes a door, he opens a window for me to jump out of. Most of her other clips fail to deliver the hope as well, and her other content pretty much just follows the exact same recycled script, crying about stuff that's been canceled.
All right, guys, welcome to the Cancel Corner, the place where we keep track of all the things the left has killed unnecessarily. I'm so excited. Over the years, it feels like the woke nonsense has deleted so many things from our lives. Aunt Jemima, Goya Beans, Mr. Potato Head, so many more innocent, inanimate objects.
Candace, considering you're a big free market, capitalism, private property kind of person, why are you getting mad that private companies are changing their marketing? Also, I know this doesn't matter really, but half these things weren't even canceled. Like Mr. Potato Head was just a little brand change. The Dr. Seuss books were taken off the market because the owners made the choice to remove some of the outdated books. There wasn't even any pressure to do so. But whatever, I guess this is just the 1984 Orwellian concept of a private business doing things. It doesn't really matter, it's not about being logically consistent. Candace has a narrative to push, so onward, soldier.
The person that you elected to protect you and to tell you the truth got censored from the internet for your safety. That should terrify every single person in the world. If a sitting United States president is being censored, what's going to happen to us? How are we safe if he's not safe?
Lighthearted? No. Lightheaded, maybe. Candace, you were just talking about how doom and gloom other talk show hosts are. You said they were always covering bad news, and you wanted to be different. You wanted to deliver that sweet silver lining. I just don't understand the inconsistency here. I mean, sure, Candace has already openly denied experiencing racism when she was younger, despite receiving $30,000 in a racial discrimination lawsuit from her college. Sure, Candace claims men in dresses is a perversion when she wears men's clothes quite frequently. I don't know, when it came to her talk show, I guess I just had hope that she would be consistent for once. Her George Floyd coverage was especially not hopeful. First, she runs off the same talking points we've all heard for free in the past about how bad George Floyd was.
Spinning all the lies when the media first came out and they said, oh, George Floyd was just getting his life together. He moved to Minnesota. He got released from prison in 2014. Floyd has a rap sheet, and I'm going to remind you guys of it again today.
Man, it's just so easy to create a pretend argument, assign it to the people you don't like, and then attack that. Anyone with two brain cells to rub together knows that the outrage is over whether or not the way Floyd was killed was justified. Whether he was a sinner or a saint is completely irrelevant.
Until I reminded people of what his actual record was, because it became apparent to me that there was a reason that they were not producing the police footage, because they wanted to make sure that the lie was perpetuated around the world and repeated.
I'm losing hope and my health bar is in the red at the thought of conservatives paying $13 a month to hear what they already believe spewed back at them. How do I know this? Because anyone with critical thinking skills could do some basic research and see that outside Candace Owens' fantasy world, the media actually played a massive role in pressuring the state to release the body cam footage. The media did the opposite of cover up the footage. Lastly, the body cam footage didn't even show anything new, except that George Floyd was still treated really badly by the police. But in Candace's silver lining, hopeful world, the media is controlled by the spooky, nebulous, radical left, and this sells to the conservatives that are already living in the same world. I don't know about you, but all this lightheartedness and hopefulness has made me really exhausted. Can we get some comic relief? Everybody loves to laugh. And if you weren't brainwashed by the way Candace Owens presents herself on every major platform, then you would know that Candace also not only likes to laugh, but she likes to tell jokes. This is one of her selling points for the talk show, the lighthearted, feel-good humor, something we could all use a bit of. So after doing some serious research and some deep online digging, I finally came across a clip that seemed to be attempting to be slightly humorous, attempting to decipher incoherent Cardi B tweets. And you see, Candace is laughing on the thumbnail, which implies the potential for humor or scorn.
Ben Shapiro. Cole Arbor. My good friend, Brennan Tatum.
All right, I mean, I see a satirist, a clown, and hey, Nicole Arbor is kind of a failed comedian, so we're off to a decent start.
To ask you, Nicole,
Yes.
how you were inspired by this sex positivity.
It feels like herpes positive and chlamydia positive. I was inspired to get an STD test, but also get a stack of ones. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, it's a little, no, that.
The only laugh I've gotten out of this show so far has been the Joker laugh. You can also tell from the way the audience reacted that they probably didn't care for that joke. I mean, like, they laughed for like a split second, and then it was just silence.
I don't feel like this is a positive portrayal of women. This is the same ish we've seen for so many years.
Interesting point from the woman famous for wearing extremely low-cut shirts and joking about male fluids in her hair.
Got my Kesha hair today. You don't know if this is hairspray or semen. Dear fat people.
But on the bright side, Candace seems to be having herself a good chuckle, so there's that.
So I said it was a corrosion of culture. Can you spin this for me and tell me how actually no, this is the opposite?
That's very difficult to do. I think if you want to ruin a culture, if you like nasty women and you don't want your children to grow up and get married and be successful, this would probably be a good idea for you to have and have them watch it. But Cardi B that was nasty.
You know, the clown really isn't that funny. There are so many chances here being given to the guests and even Candace to like crack some jokes, actually loosen up a bit, but instead it's all just the erosion of the black culture. You gotta love them calling WAP degenerate while simultaneously viewing it on repeat on their 60-inch TV. This is so perverse.
I mean, her Shakespearean brilliance is on full display in this tweet. The proper grammar, the incredible spelling, the use of the emoji, which you remember from King Lear, and the just incredible verbal play.
This is really, really awkward. I mean, you can hear Candace just trying to force a laugh.
And the
And the crowd is all just like, heh. The rest of the video is pretty much just more of this. So basically, Candace Owens' new talk show is painfully unfunny, it's barely lighthearted, and relies way more on invoking fear than giving hope. Candace knows at the end of the day, her target audience relies on fear and hopelessness. You can't deliver a hopeful show to conservatives and expect longevity. The main conservative talking points focus on the world falling because the radical progressives are eroding our culture. Conservatives need fear to propagate their ideas, and both hope and humor rely on the absence of fear. Candace may be able to successfully throw some sarcastic comments in here and there, but the show's core focus will always rely on spreading fear. Whether it's fear that our election system is broken, fear that our Western civilization is crumbling, fear of the media, and so on. Overall, this show is just another B-list talk show, but this time with a blatant conservative bend. It failed to live up to the standards Candace herself detailed, and instead, Candace Owens basically just became the Samantha Bee of the right wing with this biased corporate talk show. Yeah, Candace Owens' new talk show, it did not help my nihilism. Not even one bit. I guess my silver lining is a dress tie and a ceiling fan. Thanks, Candace. This video was made possible by the generous support from my patrons.